Lens won, PSV won. What that means overall is that Arsenal are back to the top of Group V. Lens sitting in second, Sevilla and PSV in third and fourth. Good win for Arsenal. Needed, of course, after that defeat against Lens last time out. And Sevilla, not an easy place to go.
Yeah, it was a big test for them. And also after, I think, a pretty average performance at Chelsea where they came back. And Gabriel Jesus was poor in that game. And I thought he tried to overcomplicate it. Tonight we saw the quality that he can bring when he works with his teammates, when he does things a little bit more simplistic. And that's what Gabriel Jesus needs to do. And I did hear Arteta after the game say I think he had a small hamstring issue.
Was that in the Spanish press conference you were watching?
I think I picked it up. But, you know, Arsenal, particularly in the first half, superb. Defended stoutly in the second half. The keeper, we seem to talk about him every time. He's a big concern for me still, particularly with cross balls in. But let me tell you, once again, Declan Rice, middle of the park.
Yeah.
An absolute Trojan in there. The work he's doing, you know, defensively, offensively, linking up all the plays from defence to attack in the middle of the park. It was a really, really big performance from Arsenal and a much needed one because, as you mentioned, they lost in France. They were 2-0 down against Chelsea and going nowhere until Robert Sanchez basically gifted them a goal. Great finish from Declan Rice. But going in here to Spain, to Sevilla, was quite a big test, and they passed this one tonight.
Right, take your stupid goalkeeper glasses off and just talk about this objectively. How poor is that from a first-choice Arsenal goalkeeper?
As an individual error, I without it going in the net, I can't think of much worse, in all honesty. And here's...
What's he done wrong? Well, I know what he's done wrong, but from a technical point of view.
Well, he just I think he gets ahead of the ball and then it comes off the back of his hand. That's the only explanation for it. So I'm not sure whether it's that he took his eye off the ball, whether it's just... Technically, it was poor from him, and as Craig says, struggles from crosses and
I think he's looking at
what's coming in at him.
What's coming in at him.
That should not be a concern. It really shouldn't. And the thing with David Raya, and which we've been seeing time and time again, and again in this one, not really a whole lot to talk about from him, which you want. You want him to get through 90 minutes. And have a game that, whether you concede or not, it's not about a mistake. It's not about giving the opposition a chance with the ball at your feet. Just get through the game. I say 90 minutes tongue-in-cheek because he waits until the 94th to produce that. And again, it just kind of raises eyebrows. And
are we being harsh highlighting this?
No, we're not. You know, if it's an individual mistake, you put it down, you know, it's one of those and you got away with it. But we are having these conversations every single game in one capacity or another, and that becomes concerning because it's only so long you can get away with it. So now keeps getting away with it. He's got to right that. He's got to right those wrongs, or Arsenal will start paying a far heavier price.
I think it has an effect eventually on every time we talk about him, I keep thinking, are we over-egging this pudding? Is it actually an issue? But the more you look at it, and you know, I saw a tweet from our colleague James Ollie, who was over there at half-time, and I don't know if this was tongue-in-cheek, but he had only 10 passes completed in the first half, Raya, which was the worst of any player on the field, which, you know, for somebody who's supposed to be this guy out starting all these attacks off at the back, is telling you that was far from ideal. But if you remember the Kepa scenario at Chelsea, which was slightly different, but when Sarri lost confidence in him, and you remember the players themselves were berating him on the field when they lost confidence in his ability to do anything, really. And whilst we're a long, long way from that, I think if he continues to flap at crosses coming into the box and gets himself in bad positions like Xhaka thought he did for the Mudryk shank cross at the weekend, then I think it's going to have an effect on Saliba and Gabriel, because their starting position is all of a sudden probably going to change. Because they're now thinking, crosses into the box. You know, we haven't got Aaron Ramsdale, who's, I don't know what he is, 6'4". He's a big, you know, he's a big imposing goalkeeper. That makes a defender's job different.
Right.
When you know your keeper has got that authority in the box, then it makes your job slightly different. When you have a goalkeeper who's not particularly good, or it doesn't seem to be in that area, as a defensive unit, you might have to change your mindset a little bit. And I think the concern is, and we're a long way from it, is that his inadequacy from these type of balls in could start seeping through to the rest of that back four.
To that point, I haven't sensed that concern from Arsenal's defence. When Raya does make mistakes, I'm inevitably looking at the centre halves as to, you know, their body language, what they're saying to him, and nothing has really...
But it's early, Shaq.
It is. Nothing has suggested that they've lost confidence yet. Once those centre halves do, once that kind of mood changes, I think Arteta doesn't have a choice but to change his goalkeeper. But as of right now, the defence seem okay with what's happening.
It reminds me that an old thing Martin O'Neill, the former Celtic manager, said to my old teammate goalkeeper Johnny Gould. He said, I love you to bits, but whenever the ball comes in the box, you give me the heebie-jeebies.